everyone, today I'm getting ready to make some taco ranch cheese dip. We're getting ready to go to a youth function. Some of our friends are having all the youth group over and all their families over, and we're going to go hang out with them, and the kids are going to swim and play games and stuff today. And so I actually took this dip recipe last year and they asked me to make it again this year. So I'm super excited to put this together and to show you how I do it. I love a good recipe that you can just mix together and throw in the crock pot and it's done. And that's what this is. And so I'm going to show you the ingredients we're using to put in this. We're going to use sausage in it. I'm using this pork sausage. It's just a breakfast sausage. I've also used like a hot Italian sausage, and that's really good in it as well. And we're doing ground chuck today. I've got salsa. I've got ranch dressing mix, and I have a video on how to make that. I will post in the description below if you want to learn how to make the dry ranch dressing mix. And I'm using chili powder, and we're going to use cream cheese, and we're going to use milk. So in all my dip recipes, pretty much I use cream cheese. It is basically the star of the show, and it melts really good. I love it. It's more of a, it does have some fillers in it, but it's more of a real food ingredient than say something like Velveeta or whatever that's heavily processed. And I quit using that years ago, and I pretty much replaced it with cream cheese. It works out really good, and we love the taste of it. So I'm going to start by browning my meat, and then I'm just going to get everything in my crock pot, and we're going to be good to go. So I'm just going to start off by getting my meat really good and browned up in this skillet. I decided about halfway through this that I needed some extra meat because I was going to just go ahead and double it. So I put that in there, and it ended up being about the right size skillet, but I probably could have used a little bit of a bigger one. And then this meat ended up being a little bit fatty, so I am going to drain that off. If it's not too fatty, you don't have to worry about that, but I went ahead and strained off the fat before I put it in my crock pot, and I'm just going to go ahead and get my blocks of cream cheese in here. I'm going to be using 6 8-ounce packages, so if you're just doing a single batch, you would just want 3. And I'm going to go ahead and get my crock pot going so that it can be heating up that cream cheese while I'm cooking the meat. So once we get the meat finished browned up, we're going to add everything to the crock pot, and I'm adding in my dry ranch dressing mix, my chili powder, my salsa. I've got 16-ounce jars of salsa here. This is not a very chunky salsa, and that's why I like it. It's medium. If you have one that's kind of chunky, you can just mix it up in the blender and then put it in. You don't have to do that, but I just think it makes a more smoother dip, and I really like it. And so, and then I'm going to add in some milk as well. And then you can't really stir this up until it gets good and heated up. So you just want to get it heating up really good and then stir it up really well once it gets hot. So we got our cheese dip going in the crock pot over here. I'm going to let that heat up for a few hours just till everything gets warm and all the flavors get mixed together. So now I'm going to show you how to make a whipped feta dip. This is a cold dip, and we absolutely love it. We like to eat it with like pita chips and carrots and cucumbers and vegetables like that. And it's pretty simple. It's just got cream cheese and feta and lemon and olive oil and some pepper and garlic. And so I'm going to show you how to make that. We love feta cheese here. We like to put it on top of our pizzas. If you're not familiar with feta, it's a very briny cheese. It's got a salty, briny taste to it. And like I said, we like to put it on our pizzas, and it just kind of adds a little bit of pop of flavor on there. And I started making this dip sometime last year, and we just really love it. And so I'm going to show you how to make it. So I'm going to start here with my feta cheese. This is 8 ounces of feta cheese. This is the blocks. I get them in 2-pound packages from Sam's. You can get the little pieces of feta too. That works fine. But I'm just going to break this up and put it in my food processor. And it's been sitting out for a few minutes, so it's not super cold. If it's a little bit warm, it blends up a little bit better in your food processor. So I'm just going to break that up into chunks and put it in there so it can get ready to be blended up. So next up, I'm going to get my cream cheese and put that in there. You definitely want that to be softened. So try to set that out on your counter for an hour or 2 beforehand so that it'll mix up really well with everything else. Now I had a little bit of brine left over in that bowl from the feta cheese, so I'm just going to mix that in with it as well. We're going to get a couple cloves of garlic here to put in. I'm just going to kind of smash them on my cutting board there and throw them in because they'll get blend it up while I'm processing it in the food processor. If you don't like stuff real garlicky or real spicy, I would just add in maybe one, or you could even do like maybe a little bit of garlic powder. So, and you got to remember that this is fresh garlic, so it does have a little bit of hotness to it, so you wouldn't want to overdo it too much if you don't like a lot of garlic. And now we're going to use the juice from half a lemon, and we're just going to squeeze that in there with our lemon press. Now I've got some extra virgin olive oil, and we're going to put 2 tablespoons of that in there. It just helps everything blend up really well together. And then I'm going to put in a little bit of cracked black pepper, and we're also going to add in some red pepper here. Now red pepper can be very spicy, so you don't want to overdo it on that unless you just really like it super spicy. So I just put a little bit in there just to give it a little bit of a kick. And now we're just going to blend that up in our food processor. So you just want to put this on high and just start blending, see how it does. You're probably going to have to take the lid off a couple times, scrape down the sides and blend it a little bit more, but you just want it to kind of come together, want it to be whipped up really good. It'll kind of have a light airiness to it, and everything will be mixed up. There's not going to be any chunks of like cream cheese or feta cheese in there. It's just going to be all whipped together really good, and like I said, nice and fluffy. All right, so I've got it all whipped up. You can see it here. It's just really nice and creamy, and I'm gonna give it a little taste to see if it's how we want it to be. Oh yeah, that's really good. So we're not gonna eat this right now, so I've got this little container. I'm just gonna put it in, and I'm gonna put it in the fridge so we can have throughout the week with some carrots or pita chips or whatever. So I decided to go ahead and prep some carrots as well. I like to keep bags of carrots in my fridge, and then I will just pull them out. I like to make vegetable trays to take to places. This feta dip is great on a vegetable tray, and I don't like to buy baby carrots because I don't really like the way they taste. If you just peel and cut up some carrots, they are so good. They taste so much better than the baby carrots, and it really isn't that hard to do. It doesn't take very much time. You just kind of want to peel them, cut off those ends, and then I like to slice them up into little slices so that they're easy to eat. We love some fresh carrots. So I'm going to put these in the fridge, and they'll be ready to go when we're ready to eat that dip. All right, let's check on this dip and see how it is doing. Oh yeah. So all this cream cheese is melting up, and it is starting to get really hot and mixed together. I'm just going to stir this up really good, and I'll show you what it looks like. So here it is, all stirred up really good. It's looking good. I'm just going to turn it to warm, and then it'll be ready to eat whenever we're ready. So we like to serve this cheese dip with tortilla chips, and we have it all plated up here and ready to go. And then we have our whipped feta dip plated up as well. I hope you try these recipes, and I hope you and your family loves them as much as we do. Have a great day.